Hi everyone, my name is Patrice Desilets and I'm the creative director of Assassin's Creed. Right from the beginning of conception on how we would do a next generation game, it was really important that the player could go anywhere and interact with everything.
There are rules. We are nothing if we do not abide by the Assassin's Creed. 3 simple tenets, which you seem to forget. First and foremost, stay your blade
from the flesh of an innocent.
The second tenet is that which gives us strength. Hide in plain sight. The third and final tenet is never compromise the Brotherhood.
What are your thoughts on a sequel?
Well, the team is really hoping that Assassin's Creed is a success, and you know, if the buzz and how much people are talking about it is any indication, hopefully it will get to work on a sequel.
Listen to him, a fine set of lungs.
What shall we call him?
Ezio Auditore da Firenze.
For me, Assassin's Creed is essentially a long, epic story of a guy in the prison going in a machine called the Univers, and he's going to relive the life of his ancestors. In Assassin's Creed 2, we follow Desmond, who's going to live the life of Ezio Auditore da Firenze.
The meaning of Ezio's name, following with the tradition established by the first Assassin's Creed, is that Ezio means eagle.
At one point, something tragic happens to himself and his family.
What happens is that the same people that Ezio considered to be dear family friends actually turn on him.
People that are very close to him are taken from him, and becoming an assassin, acquiring the skills, will give him the abilities necessary to exact revenge.
What are you and your allies planning? Is this what my father discovered? Is this why he was killed?
No. Killing you won't bring my family back. I'm done.
In this new chapter of Assassin's Creed, Ezio Auditore da Firenze, our main character, is back. He's now a leader, although he's still learning. He's much wiser, but still makes mistakes. But one thing's for sure, is that he's deadlier than ever.
And this time around, what we wanted to give the players is the fantasy of being leader of an assassin order. And it made sense for us to put the player in that position and have that extra responsibility of not only teaching them, but also recruiting them and molding the next generation of assassins.
The liberation of Roma has begun.
Welcome to Constantine, Ezio, the crossroads of the world. Many generations of men have ruled the city, but they have never subdued her. She always bounces back.
This is where your order began?
It began thousands of years ago, but here it was reborn.
We're super excited for you guys to get a hold of it. Have fun and enjoy Assassin's Creed Revelations.
You put too much faith in the hearts of men, Altair. The Templars know the truth. Humans are weak, base, and petty. For 3 decades, I have served the memory of my father and my brothers, and fought for those who have suffered the pain of injustice.
Do you regret your decision to live as an assassin for so long?
I do not remember making that decision. This life, it chose me.
Ladies and gentlemen, the moment is here.
Since its debut in 2007, it has attracted hundreds of millions of fans worldwide. I'm talking about Assassin's Creed!
It's a long development cycle. You know, the joke, a lot of us who've been on it 3 years, we could have become veterinarians if, you know, in the same amount of time, and instead we made this game. And it's a huge chunk of your working life to put into something.
3 years ago, I couldn't imagine working on a game the size of this.
Seeing all of this coming together at the end, it's amazing.
For new fans, really, this is about as good as it gets. It's by far the biggest and best Assassin's yet.
I see now why ours is an eternal war. For each piece taken from the board, another is placed upon it. Some days mine feels an impossible task. But I cannot afford to be consumed with doubt. The people need me. Now more than ever, I must stop the Templars.
In your haste to save the world, boy, take care you don't destroy.
I realize now that it will take time, that the road ahead is long and shrouded in darkness. It is a road that will not always take me where I wish to go, and I doubt I will live to see its end. But I will travel down it nonetheless.
Even when your kind appears to triumph, still we rise again. And you know why? It's because the Order is born of a realization. We require no creed. No indoctrination by desperate old men. All we need is that the world be as it is. This is why the Templars will never be destroyed.
When we were working on Assassin's Creed 3, and we knew that it was about the American Revolution, and we knew that we had these two characters, Haytham and Connor, which is maybe a spoiler for the 1 or 2 people who haven't played AC3. We knew that we wanted to actually do this, what we call internally the Kenway family saga. So we had Haytham and Connor, but we also, right around the time that I was finishing Revelations, we also had this idea to do Edward. We saw that the ship battles were coming together really well in AC3, and we started just doing the math, and we thought, okay, if we're going to do Edward, and we go back just about 50 years, or let's say about 35 years from the start of AC3, we're right in the golden age of piracy. We already have boats, the golden age of piracy. It fit really well.
The Caribbean open world we've created, it's a fresh world. It's the most unique world we've ever built. You know, we're traditionally used to building cities, so we still have the cities in this game, but now we have this massive Caribbean open world with a lot of naval. So it was a big challenge for us to make sure that the world was constantly filled with content, that you're always finding something, activities, locations, events.
Is it dangerous? Edward, privateering, is it dangerous?
Wouldn't pay so nice if it weren't.
Raise the black flag, lads! Let them see it! Gentlemen, as is custom among our kind, we do not plunge headlong into folly on the orders of a single madman, but act according to our own collective madness. Take no quarter, lads, and give no diver!
You
play a big part of the game as a Templar. You are switching sides. Shay Patrick Cormac, our main character, he starts as a young, promising assassin. He's the son of a sailor, former soldier himself, who were impressed with his skills, the assassin order, and they took him in. But at some point in time, as we go through the game, something profoundly traumatic happens to Shay, and this makes him rethink his allegiances and ultimately decides to switch sides.
You are now a Templar. You made me slaughter innocents!
I can't change the past, but maybe there's a future for me here. And maybe, just maybe, I can do what's right this time.
I didn't want to do this.
I trained you to do this. I expected nothing less.
Fight those barges! Else we'll be swimming home tonight!
How many times do I have to tell you, Liam? I make my own luck.
You broke the assassins. Betrayed everyone you knew.
So we really wanted Unity to be sort of a new start for the franchise, to have the same impact Assassin's Creed 1 had back then with Xbox 360 and PS3, sort of redefined what it is, what a next generation action-adventure game is. How do we tell stories that are more mature? How do we tell stories where we can actually pull stuff off that we couldn't before in previous generations, just because of, you know, the different tools we had and the different, you know, all of that stuff together. And a love story popped up and we're like, can we pull it off? Well, if we actually pull it off, it could be something that's really, I mean, it's really cool for the franchise, but also for storytelling in general in terms of video games. The love story is definitely a part of it, but it's not. That's not all we have. The story is first and foremost a redemption quest. Arno feels that he is responsible for a great wrong, a tragedy that happens at the beginning of the game, and because of this guilt, he feels that he needs the means to, you know, be able to satisfy this need for redemption. So he joins the assassins, and so he embarks on this quest.
Arno Dorian is dead. Tonight he is reborn, novice of the Assassin Brotherhood.
He sort of gets more and more involved with Elise. Elise is a Templar, and then you get the whole question of love versus duty. Does he forsake the Brotherhood for Elise's sake, for love, or does he stick with the Brotherhood and forsake love? I mean, it's a catch-22. It's an impossible question.
Assassin's Creed Syndicate takes place in London in 1868, and when we're right in the middle of the Industrial Revolution. So it's really a pivotal moment in humanity's history that will allow us to modernize the experience. Together with their street gang, our two assassins, the twins Jacob and Evie Fry, will fight to take London out of the hands of the greedy and the corrupt in order to give the city back to its people.
Our civilization must survive this onslaught. London must be reborn.
We welcome all who would stand up to Starrick and his cutthroats.
Once more for old time's sake.
And then we're finished.
Agreed.
You assassins can circle London to your heart's content. The mechanism we have built has been going strong for 100 years, and will run 1,000 more.
Too much haste is too little speed.
Don't you quote father at me.
That's Plato. And I am sorry, this doesn't involve anything you can destroy.
Father was right, he never approved of your methods.
Father is dead!
Enough!
Have fun.
Don't die.
We're not playing games anymore, Roth!
No, we're not. This borough is ours for the taking.
I need you. London needs you.
How far ahead is your roadmap for the AC series? Do you have it pretty well mapped out for the next 5 years?
I don't know up to where I can go in details, but it goes beyond 1 year for sure.
Are you satisfied with the final game?
I am, but that's not what counts. I mean, right? What counts is whether players are going to be satisfied with the final game. And we've gotten a lot of good feedback so far in play tests and stuff like that, but really it's going to be when everyone gets the game that's what it's going to count.
So what do you hope people take away from this game?
My hope is that they, first of all, they love it, and they come to the conclusion that this is really a rebirth of Assassin's Creed, and it is truly a leap forward in terms of all of the experiences that they loved in the previous games, and that this is really the start of a whole new cycle, a new generation of Assassin's Creed.
To say that nothing is true is to realize that the foundations of society are fragile, and that we must be the shepherds of our own civilization. To say that everything is permitted is to understand that we are the architects of our actions. We must live with their consequences, whether glorious or tragic.
We believe ourselves redeemers, avengers, saviors. We make war on those who oppose us, and they in turn make war on us. We dream of leaving our stamp upon the world. Even as we give our lives in a conflict that will be recorded in no history book. All that we do, all that we are, begins and ends with ourselves.
Fight with me and show him what it means to cross the assassins.
Tu sei un uditore, sei un combattente. Perciò, combatti.
What is a man but the sum of his memories? We are the stories we live, the tales we tell ourselves.
I may never succeed. The assassins may struggle another 1,000 years in vain, but we will not stop.